Hey folks, and welcome into this edition of the Earl Hall Show. Today, we're going to be talking about whether you should publish your own book or not. We're going to get into talking about it right after this. Business owners that want a professional commercial created for the product or service you sell, listen up. At Earl Hall Studio LLC, we have created commercials and voiceover for companies like HP, HUD, smartphone apps, and more. You can even hear our commercials on ABC News. Would you like an affordable commercial created in our award-winning production studio? Visit us now and get a free quote for your needs at www.earlhallstudio.com. earlhallstudio.com. And hello, everyone. This is going to be an amazing day for me. Today, we're going to be talking about whether you should publish your own book and how you can actually do that. Doing things a little bit differently here today. We're broadcasting live on Spreaker on theearlhallshow.com, as well as on my Facebook page for The Earl Hall Show. So this is going to be interesting to see how all of this turns out. Whenever you try something new, you never know how the technology is going to go. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. All of you folks that will be listening to this show live at www.theearlhallshow.com, as well as those that are over on Facebook watching me as I'm in studio here producing the show. So one of the things that is so interesting to me, you know, I've heard from and had several different conversations with authors and with people that want to be authors to really see how they can start writing a book, if that is what they want to do. And it's so interesting to me that in the age that we live in today, people make this harder than it should be, or harder than it is. It's like, so where do you actually start with all of this when you have the inkling that you want to produce a book? And even if you've already done one and you're thinking about doing another one, this, hopefully in this show, is going to break down some of this for you and also demystify some of this for you as well. So where do we start? I mean, you can literally Google how to publish a book. Now, again, in today's age, in the technological world that we live in, producing or publishing a book is not that difficult. So many people have paid people tons of money to publish their book and, you know, all these other things when it is already right at your fingertips. It's already right there. And so even if you've never written a book before, it's like, okay, where do I start? Well, writing a book can be kind of difficult from time to time. I've written about 6-7 books in the past decade. I just wrote 2 books in the past year. You know, one of them, you'll probably hear something about it on the show, Align with Your Purpose. And my other book is called Transcend, that just came out on my birthday, which was October the 3rd. Both of them on Amazon. And one of the things that people really struggle with is the start. You know, you're staring there looking at a blinking cursor on a screen, or you're, you know, looking at a blank page trying to figure out what it is that you want to write. And, you know, that first sentence, it's like you can have a concept in your mind of what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to write about. But that start sometimes is really the hardest thing. And so I tell people, look, maybe you just need to start with a tweet. Maybe you just need to start with, you know, a blog post about something that you're going to write about, depending on, you know, or either or, if it's fiction or nonfiction, it doesn't really matter the genre. But start writing and talking about the concepts that you have so that people start to know. And then also you can build an audience, because here's the thing. And I just thought about this. So many people want to write a book and put it out and think that it's going to blow up. You know, you might put it on Amazon, you might have a publisher, whatever, and you think the day that that book comes out, everybody's just going to get it because you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, we all know that we're not. Nobody knows who we are when we start. So here's the thing. When you're looking to write a book, and of course you want that book to sell, you know, everybody wants their book to sell. We want to be number one on Amazon, top seller, whatever it is. But you have no audience for what it is that you're doing. In many cases, people kind of do this backwards. You want to write a book and then create the audience, and then it takes another 5, 6, 10 years for the book to really kind of get any legs or traction. Whereas what if before you wrote the book, you started developing your audience by talking about the concepts that are in your book? You can do a podcast like I'm doing here. You can do Facebook Live like I'm doing right now as well. And just start talking about the concepts that will be in the book. Now, you don't even have to mention that it's, something that you're thinking about writing about. You just start talking about the topic. And what that does, it creates awareness around what it is that you're doing. And it also starts attracting in the people that would be attracted to what it is that you're writing about. So now you've spent 6 months, a year or so, while you're writing the book, also creating the audience for the book. And then when you launch the book, you actually have an audience to launch it to. And then obviously if that book is great, then people are going to talk about that book. They're going to leave you comments. They're going to leave reviews depending on where you've published the book at or where it's available, which most of us have our books available on Amazon because it's the biggest platform to be on. Don't sleep on this. You want to make sure that whatever you do, that your book is on Amazon, and Amazon is able to distribute it out for you in many different ways as well. So when you're thinking about starting and creating a book, what are some of the ways that you can actually do this? Now, here's the kicker. The last book that I wrote, which is called Transcend, and it's on Amazon in paperback and Kindle, plug, right? There are more ways to write a book than just sitting down and writing or typing it out. There's more ways to do it than that. There's been 1 or 2 books that I've written over the past decade that were basically a compilation of blogs that I had produced over time. And I took those blogs and I reformatted those into chapters of a book. And, I added things to it, changed some wording. Sometimes some of the philosophy of the concepts I've changed. And so I changed some of that. But it made it very easy to write my book. I had spent some time writing blogs, a lot of blogs, and I was like, this is a book. So I combined them all and created a book. That's one way you can do it, even as you're, contemplating what it is you want to write about, start blogging about it. Just one suggestion. Because again, for me, I'm the type of guy, there's only one book that I've written that I actually sat down and wrote. Literally sat down and wrote it out just on my laptop. And it took me 3 days to write the book. I think it was about 110, 120 some odd pages. But it was a new concept that I had, a new thought process that I had. And that was aligned with your purpose. That book that I wrote last year in 2018, Aligned with Your Purpose, I think that came out in like July or something like that. I literally sat down for 3 days and wrote. Period. And that's the only book I've ever done like that. Now, you want to know some real magic besides writing blogs? I've been a podcaster and a broadcaster for over 15 years. Actually, it's closer to 20, probably, maybe. No, it's more than 20. Yeah. So I've been in podcasting and broadcasting and internet radio and terrestrial radio for 2 decades, basically. And so the last book that I wrote, which is called Transcend, what I did was, because it's so much easier for me to just talk than it is for me to write because of, my skill set and because of what I've done for 2 decades, I literally sat and created podcasts. And I took those podcasts and I had them transcribed, and that became my book. There may have been maybe 3 or 4 chapters that I actually wrote, and this book is somewhere close to the neighborhood of 130 pages. But what I did was I took my podcasts and I had them transcribed. Literally, each chapter cost me $7 to transcribe. It was nothing. And then all I had to do was go in and edit and add some things, take some things out, like welcome to the show and all that kind of stuff, right? So when you're thinking about writing a book, the process that you have in writing it can be one of the things that can really propel you forward and actually producing the book that you want to produce, or it can hold you back. It really depends on how you're looking at it. So the biggest thing is the start. I'm going to take a little break right here, but when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation, and I'm going to show you how and where you can go to get your book published, the sites you need to know about, and get you going on starting the book. You're tuned in to The Earl Hall Show. We'll be right back. Keep it locked. Stop listening to others and start listening to the best part of you. I know, probably just like me, you have sought answers and guidance from mentors, gurus, and coaches. The problem for you has probably been that you have found some success with that approach, but nothing earth-shattering. Here's the thing. If you want a better business, a better relationship, a better life, then how can anyone else actually give that to you? Why do you think that the answers to what you want are inside of someone else? They aren't. You and only you are the key to living your best life. Get the book, Transcend: How to Truly Connect with God and Create the Life You Want by Dr. Earl B. Hall. Available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. Are you an author or a publisher? Do you have a professional book trailer to promote your books? A professional book trailer video can be just what you need to tell the story of your book in less than 60 seconds, just like a movie trailer. See examples and get yours today at www.probookpromo.com. probookpromo.com. Hi, my name is Earl Hall, and I'm the author of Align with Your Purpose, available on Amazon.com. What would happen to your life if you were actually walking in your purpose? Nothing you will ever do in life is more important than walking in your purpose. It is time to break some of the rules and finally live the life of greatness you were meant for. Get Align with Your Purpose now, available on Amazon.com. All right, folks, welcome back into the Earl Hall Show. Thank you so much for keeping it locked right here. Make sure that you do visit the website, www.theearlhallshow.com. There you can subscribe to the podcast anywhere that you would like to subscribe. Your favorite podcasting platform. We are everywhere, even on Alexa. That's right. Actually, you can say the words, Alexa, ask Spreaker to play the Earl Hall Show, and it'll play it for you. Yep. Obviously, we're on iTunes, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Play, we're on so many different things, even the TuneIn app as well. You want to know everything about me, just visit www.earlhall.co. That's www.earlhall.co. We're broadcasting live today on Spreaker. It's being podcasted on Spreaker. We're broadcasting live on my Facebook page at The Earl Hall Show on Facebook as well. So welcome in everybody on Facebook. Thanks so much for tuning in with me on today. Whether you're listening live at theearlhallshow.com or on our Facebook page, The Earl Hall Show, you can actually chat with me. If you're on theearlhallshow.com, you can go ahead and click the little chat bubble. If it's live, you'll see live there, and you can chat with me live. And even if you're listening to the podcast, click the comment, same bubble, and leave me a comment about what you thought about the show. And while you're clicking that comment bubble, make sure you hit the heart button as well. For all of you folks over on Facebook watching me, thank you so much for tuning in. Leave me a comment on this as well. Comment, question, doesn't matter. I love the interaction. Today we're talking about, should you publish your own book and how? So we've already talked about, should you do it? I think the answer is yes on that one. And so we're going to get into, and we even talked about how, and I gave you some of my secrets on how it is that I've been able to author somewhere in the neighborhood of 6, 7, 8 books in the past decade, just 2 books in the past year. I've done. And in the first segment, you heard about how I did those. And so how am I doing these things and where do I go? Because so many people are confused about just the process of how to get the book published. And let me just tell you, it is so super easy. The folks that are with me over on Facebook are seeing right now, the place you want to go is kdp.com. It is a platform created by Amazon. Amazon used to have something called the Creator Studio, I believe, but they combined it all at kdp.com. And so when you go to KDP, you're able to, there's so much that you can do, right? There's so much. Because if you're wondering about formatting, if you're wondering about anything, KDP is going to walk you through all of that. And it's going to give you, my Apple Watch is talking to me again. KDP.com is going to give you the formatting you need. So you can download the format for the size of the book. I usually do like a 6x9. That's pretty much standard. And you can download that format. You can use it in Windows. You can use it on Google Drive and Google Docs. And you can format your book exactly how it needs to be formatted. They have made this super easy. And when it comes to even creating the covers and the back covers, the last two books that I've written, Align with Your Purpose as well as Transcend, I just created my cover right there in KDP. It is amazing what you're able to do now. And the book Transcend, I used Canva to download the and a graphic that I wanted, because you can create your own graphic as well and just upload it, and that's your back cover and your front cover, and you're good. You've got the formatting done. All you got to do is upload that book to KDP. Now here's the kicker. You get 2 for 1. And what I mean by that is you may think you want just a paperback book, right? You may think but at the same time you do the paperback, you can do the Kindle version. You need to have, well, my opinion is you need to have both. There are some people that want the physical book. They're going to do that. But then you got some people that have their heads in their phones all day. And so they're going to want the Kindle version so that they can just read it on their phone or their laptop, their computer, or their tablet. And all of that works. And Amazon will combine both for you so that when people go to your page to get the book, they'll see that there's 2 formats available. And I'm going to talk about a third here in just a moment. But go to kdp.com, kdp.com, and you're going to see right there how to get started. Now, I was talking to you earlier about a third format that you want to take a look at. And this is acx.com. The folks that are watching me live over on the Facebook page for the Earl Hall Show are seeing acx.com right now. You can go there while you're listening to this podcast. Just go to acx.com. This is where you get your audiobook done. And it can be something that really propels your book forward. Because many people, like I was saying, you've got some people that want the physical copy of the book, right? You've got some people that want the Kindle version of the book, but then you've got folks that just want to listen. They don't want to read. Now, I'm one of those guys. I'd rather listen or watch than read. Just who I am. And so I have so many different books on my phone from ACX. What is it? I'm trying to remember. What's it called? It's not, ACX is where you go to get your book produced. Now I'm pulling up my phone so I can see the actual platform that it's called, because it's like skipping my mind right now. This is completely frustrating that it's skipping my mind, and I can't even find it on my phone. But you go to ACX, and ACX will give you all the stuff. It give you all the information that you need for that. So now, you're an author. You've written a book. You can't do this until after you've written the book. So you've got the manuscript down. It's been approved by Amazon or whatever. It's formatted right. So now the book is live on Amazon.com. Well, what you can do as well is you can go over to ACX and basically sign up as an author on ACX and put your book out there for voice actors to read. You can audition voice actors. You can read your own book. If you want to be the voice of your book, and in many cases, I tell the authors, you need to just read your own book so that people get an even closer relationship with you in that. But if you don't think you want to do your own, audiobook or whatever, you can always hire a voice actor and there's thousands that are there. All you have to do is put your book out and let people know. And you can say, look, I'll do a royalty share deal with you where, when the book sells, you get paid each time someone purchases the audiobook. You can make that deal. You can also pay straight out, depending on what it is that you want to do. You could pay $200 per finished hour. And what I mean by that, like say your book is an hour read, right? And so you'd be paying $200 because that's the finished hour. It doesn't mean that that's how long it took the voiceover artist to do it, because there's a lot that goes into that. They're not going to read the book straight out the first time without errors, or during the reading, they're going to mess up. They're going to have to start again, And then there's an audio production process that goes with that because it has to be approved by ACX. Now, here's the thing. If you're a new author and you have no proven book sales, no one that's a voice actor, many people, some of you may know I am a voiceover artist, but some authors will put their book out for royalty share, meaning if the book sells, then the voiceover artist gets paid. Well, if you have no proven track record of selling a physical copy of your book or a Kindle copy of your book, like your sales are low, no one's going to want to make, or not many people, I should say, are going to want to make a royalty deal with you. It may be well worth your while to just pay for the book to be produced in a professional manner. And you'll be able to select the voiceover artist that you want to do your book, to, do the read for your book. So there's several things that can be done. And when it comes down to being an author, getting your book published, and literally making it so that it's out there, it's available to the public. And I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. It's probably a good idea to start developing your audience well in advance of you putting the book out, because you want to have a ready-made audience for your book. Look, thanks so much for tuning into this episode, this Friday edition of The Earl Hall Show with yours truly, your host, Earl Hall. Come to you live. Let me say that again. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. on the West Coast. Come to you live. And if you miss the live, you can always watch or listen to the podcasted version. We've got some great shows and even some interviews coming up for you on next week. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed on the Facebook page for The Earl Hall Show, as well as at www.theearlhallshow.com. If you want to get all the info on me and what it is that I do, just check out the site earlhall.co. It's earlhall.co. I love you guys. Have an amazing weekend.